Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of A Warrior's Journey to Recovery. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting here and chit-chatting with my good friend, Arianna. Arianna, how are you today?
Good, thank you. Happy to be here.
I am glad you're here. So today we're going to talk about we're going to talk a little bit about what you do. I understand, or I know, I should say, that you are a trauma-sensitive yoga instructor. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. TSY, Trauma Sensitive Yoga Instructor. I teach at North Star, and I'm also a Connected Warriors teacher. And Connected Warriors is an organization that offers evidence based, trauma conscious yoga to service members and their family.
Okay, so how does that help a veteran?
How does yoga help a veteran? That is a big question. Yoga offers so much.
Mhm.
And the type of teaching that I do that's more focused on trauma, it offers a lot.
Okay, so you're a Connected Warriors teacher, and you do trauma-sensitive yoga instruction. So, let's say when a veteran is at North Star and you're doing a yoga session, what does that consist of, when you're in the class?
Well, in the class, I always start off with grounding, a nice grounding meditation.
Mhm.
It allows the participant to be in the moment and to be at ease. So I usually start that way before we continue an actual physical practice.
And you do, like, a guided meditation throughout the whole, class, right?
No,
Or is it
initially it's a grounded or guided,
Uh-huh.
depending on what we're feeling like, grounding meditation, and that just allows one to arrive, to mentally arrive to your practice, to
Okay.
because we're often physically in a space, but are we mentally there?
Right.
So when we start out grounding, we can be there and
Mhm.
continue the rest of the practice, which is then physical.
Okay, so the guided meditation, that's the recordings that you do for the veterans, right? They can just kinda tap in, listen to,
Absolutely, yes. Tap into some of the grounding or guided meditations. Yes,
and they can do those types of meditations at home, right?
absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome. So what what exactly is a trauma-sensitive yoga instructor? I know cognitively you're working with them to kinda get them in the right state of mind, but how else does it help them, in their day-to-day lives, maybe outside of the classroom?
Well, yoga in itself is going to help with that. But what trauma sensitivity generally means is that we're more sensitive, as teachers are more aware of their needs, more trauma sensitive, and what that looks like for them. What is their experience look like for them?
Mhm.
So, in my experience, teaching this certain demographic is offers them awareness.
Okay.
Yoga offers them awareness. Trauma sensitive yoga offers awareness, mindfulness that they use on their mat and off their mat. And yoga therapy is helps patterns, create new patterns.
Right.
Yoga creates new patterns in the brain.
Which
Ha-
in turn helps them outside of
Absolutely.
the classroom with processing
Cognitively
everything.
processing emotions, everything, you know?
That's really cool.
Experiencing emotions is sometimes tough for everyone, but
Yeah.
somebody that is suffering, like a veteran, it can be extra tough. And
Right.
yoga offers that space to be available, to be there, to feel your emotions, and then let them go. Yoga offers so much, and this is just a small part.
Yeah. Some of the veterans that I've spoken with that have done the yoga have mentioned, you know, after doing a couple of sessions with you, um, outside, of the classroom setting and at home, they find themselves more aware of themselves and the way that they're dealing with issues as well, maybe with a spouse or their children. So I think it's great what you do. It really helps these guys to find a sense of self, I guess you could say.
Sense of self, and that's really important with individuals that suffer from trauma, a sense of self,
Right.
and feeling those feelings and letting them go.
So, aside from, being a yoga instructor, you've also done hyperbaric treatments for yourself and your own medical conditions. Can you tell me a little bit about um, your story, like how you have suffered prior to hyperbaric and how the hyperbaric has helped you?
I have a autoimmune disease, lupus to be specific,
Hmm.
and Since I've been treating, I have not really had a serious flare up. And the flare ups are usually the really bad times where I need to go to the hospital, get steroids, or if anybody that knows autoimmune disease knows a flare up is, it can get pretty bad. And since I've been treating at North Star, I haven't had a flare up at all.
Mhm.
At all. It's really turned down the volume on my experience with autoimmune disease,
Right.
on my symptoms of autoimmune disease.
Yeah, so we all know that hyperbaric's not gonna cure the
No,
lupus,
no,
but
no,
the
not
fact that it
cure.
helps you with your symptoms
And
is huge.
increasingly, yes, things symptoms are not as severe, and
Right.
my recovery time is not as severe as in the past. I would have been sick for 2, 3, 4 days. It's cut that in half, literally.
So definitely been a
Over
life-altering treatment for
Absolutely,
you,
absolutely, life changing, and if we feel better, we can do better,
right?
and this offers this.
That's awesome. Um, what can you tell me about a hyperbaric session? Like when you come to the clinic, getting into like the first time you got into the chamber, what was that like? What did you have to do? What did the staff do for you to get you prepared?
Well, it's nice that the staff was very supportive and very good at explaining what might happen, what might not happen, and really I was very anxious, especially the first couple times, very
Right,
anxious about being in a small space, very anxious about just wanting to leave, almost on borderline panic attack.
right.
It was very difficult for me to stay in that small space, but getting the encouragement of some of the people that were there and the encouragement from everyone there and
Especially other patients that are in there with
other
you, huh?
patients and people that, my peers there, other patients and other peers, and knowing that it's gonna be okay, and I can get out if I need to.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't lock you in there if you wanna come
Yeah,
out.
I can get out, and that's, I think, a very important kind of thing to say. We can get out. So,
Yeah. I think, for a lot of folks, that's the scary part is it's like, "Okay, I'm getting in here and now the door's shut. Like, how do
yes.
I get out?"
And just knowing that, you know what, they see you, they can hear you. If you need something, all you need to voice it, and you can get out if you need, and you can leave if you want to. But, my experience has been better since I've gotten used to it, and
Right.
it's
Yeah, it takes a few sessions to get kind of
it's
accustomed to it.
definitely more comfortable.
And the cool thing too, I think, is, the fact that there is a TV, obviously the TV's on the outside of the chamber, there's speakers inside. It allows people to have some type of distraction since electronics can't be in the chamber. But I think that's always helpful. Somebody can turn on their
Absolutely.
favorite show and just relax and
That's what's nice about, you can read, you can turn on the show, and some people chat a little bit at the beginning, but it's also a nice time for solitude. It's also a nice time for silence. If you feel like you need that and you're having a long day and you just need an hour just to zone out, it also offers that if you
right.
can get it.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're not in the
Yeah, if
chamber
you
with
can get
a
it,
bunch of
but
veterans,
yeah, yeah,
they all
but
want to
you can
chat
get
each
it.
other up,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah.
Um, so, what else are you doing? Like outside of North Star in the community? Um, I know there's some guided hikes that you and Armando do on Saturdays, which we'll touch on that in a minute. But aside from that, like what else do you personally do in the community that is helping other people? Maybe not veterans, but
I'm part of a organization that helps feed homeless and needy, veterans and all,
mhm.
called The Lot and on 22nd, and I do that twice a week, every week, and we offer meals, we offer hygiene, we offer food box, seasonal items,
Uh-huh.
twice a week, every week,
That's awesome.
down on 22nd Street.
Hey. So, um, do you ever, are you ever in need of volunteers or donations? I mean, if somebody wanted to volunteer or maybe donate to you guys, how would they go about doing something like that?
So, yeah, this is a consistent effort. This is a community effort. So, again, twice a week, every single week. So, it's nice to have extra hands to set up. It's nice to have extra hands to help pack up meals all the
Mhm.
time. And as far as donations are concerned, yes, absolutely, because we purchase things for meals. We purchase, hygiene products. We There's a lot to be purchased, so it's nice to get both on hand donation support
Right.
and actual donations. And you can go to the lot on the Facebook page, the lot on 22nd,
Mhm.
and message me there, and we can organize details.
Okay. So, what about the guided hikes that you and I believe Armando set up? What do those consist of? Who usually goes? Where do you guys typically go?
So, we offer kind of like a group. It's a group every Saturday.
Mhm.
It's offered to the veterans at North Star, and we go on a nice hike. Um, Typically, we go to the same place, but but because we like what we like.
Right,
But we have experienced all types of different hikes. We do sometimes it's nice to mix it up, and
right.
it's kind of it is, mind you, it is a good support. It is
Yeah,
a good support for the veterans and ourselves
right. I was gonna
to get
say
out there.
right, I
Yes,
was gonna say, for the veterans who maybe are here out of town, and
absolutely.
are staying in a hotel room at night, you know, from what I've been told by a lot of these guys and ladies, I should say, is that, the night is the worst, when they're left with with their thoughts. And I feel like, going on these hikes and have, these group efforts, it's nice for them because they get to really talk to you guys, because you and Armando both are very versed in, therapeutic ways of communicating with people. And I think getting out on those hikes is probably really beneficial to these guys who might be struggling. And in a clinic setting, they don't want to talk about those kinds of things that they're struggling with because who really wants to talk about their problems? I mean, I don't. But you guys being out there and getting to know each other, on more of a friends level, I'm sure that is huge for these guys.
And I think so. And in my experience, it has been. And we offer a beautiful space to visit, and we're offering a healthy habit for them
Right.
to continue if they decide.
So, I didn't ask actually, going back to the lot really quick.
Sure.
How many people are you guys feeding,
Wow.
would you say?
So tw- on Thursday, for example, I plan for 50 people. On
Mhm.
Sunday, I plan for 50 people. So generally, when somebody would like to prepare a meal, I kind of advise them we serve 50 people generally. That can be below or that can be above. But I
Okay.
always plan for 50 people
Okay.
twice
I
a week.
I just wanted to go back to that
Yeah.
for a minute and touch on that because
Yeah.
I didn't ask, and I think it's important for people to know, if they wanted to volunteer or donate, how many people you're actually trying
Yes.
to feed twice a
Yes.
week.
Yeah. And 100 and that could be more than that. And the last couple of weeks we've had more. We've had more than that. We've seen a lot more families and a lot more individuals that need help. So
Yeah, I would say with the, whole pandemic that's happening right now, a lot
absolutely.
of people are really struggling.
Absolutely. If
Um,
they weren't already, they definitely were it pushed them to that,
right.
and yeah.
Well, I think that's awesome that you offer this, meal service for people who maybe it's the only meal they get. So
Yes.
that's really
But
awesome.
also, I think is important to offer a sense of community, offer a
Right.
sense and that's a lot of what I want the lot to do, or what I would like to do is promote a sense of community, promote a sense of belonging. And
Mhm.
they look at us, they can know that they're safe no matter who they are. They can talk to us, they can have a conversation. We're going to look them in the eye, and we're going to have the experience
It's a
with them as
judgment-free
well.
zone, which is
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Absolutely.
And it's funny too because what you're doing out there in the community with the lot is very similar to what we do at North Star. Yeah, we're a medical clinic, we provide treatments, but uh, firsthand how different our clinic is compared to most
Absolutely.
doctors' offices you would
Absolutely.
go to. It's a sense of belonging there as well. I personally, when I get up in the morning, I'm leaving home and I feel like I'm going home, to my other family. Typically in a day at work, I spend more time with my staff than I actually do with my own family. So my staff becomes family, and any veteran or any patient that walks through our door kind of just becomes a part of that family dynamic. And it sounds like, the lot offers a lot of the same.
Yes, yes. Again, both serving the afflicted or who's most afflicted.
Right.
And that's definitely what I'm all about.
So, do you know of any, stories in particular of any veterans that have benefited from the HBOT that you have personally been a part of?
I have. There's so many, and these treatments have really been seen to be miraculous. And something that kind of stuck out is the 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 emotional response that this treatment is
Right.
on some people here.
Well, a
the
lot of
men
them, they don't come in knowing how to process their
absolutely,
emotions,
and the
so
ability to process is exponential, as
right.
opposed to the latter, really. And even individuals wanting to that have had maybe used in the past and having the sensation of not wanting to use
Right.
anymore. And I have seen that definitely.
Yeah, we've had some people come through who, definitely used drinking or other, alternative sources, um, to kinda dull the pain, I guess you could say. It's easier to forget than to have to deal, you know?
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of our guys find themselves excuse me, and ladies, find themselves, utilizing other sources to kinda dull that pain, but when they come and treat with us, they don't really have to anymore. Like you said, you don't feel like you really need that anymore, and it's
Yeah.
because your brain is healing,
Absolutely.
all of the damage that's been created from, either chemical toxicity from the burn pits or, whatever they've been exposed to, overseas in Iraq or Afghanistan or, even Kuwait, wherever they've been, they've come in contact with something that's not, good for their body,
Absolutely.
which in turn causes some type of damage to the brain. Emotional trauma affects the brain the same way as physical trauma. So, when our veterans come to us, they're not just suffering from one thing, it's a whole bunch of different things. And I feel that the HBOT, the yoga, and we have PEMF there, which is pulsed electromagnetic therapy, which helps break down inflammation. I feel like all of those different modalities really offer a lot of change for these guys and a chance at a better quality of life. And
Absolutely.
you're obviously sitting here with me today as proof to how well this works because, you've stated, your autoimmune disease, could really just damage, a whole part of your, week, really. And now with HBOT, you're not really having to, deal with that as often.
That is correct.
That
That
is
is all correct.
that is really awesome. And I'm glad you came to us, and I'm really glad you're there to help our veterans. We
And
definitely
happy to be there.
appreciate your services.
I'm where I need to be. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love you. All right, girl. Well, I think that is the conclusion of our discussion today. I'm really glad you were here to talk with me,
Thank you.
and I look forward to talking to you every other day outside of here.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. To all of our listeners, have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for listening.